As the title suggests, this video is going to provide a critical review of the 2018 movie Padmavat and also try to tell the true story of Ratansen, Padmavati and Alauddin Khilji with a more nuanced understanding. Hi guys, welcome to ITIHASKAAR, and in this fourth episode of Scandalous Lovers of History, we're reading history a bit differently. By the end of this video, I would have told you many core concepts of the subject of history and you wouldn't even realize it. First, let's review what you already know about this dramatic love story. I'm assuming you've already watched the movie Padmavat, given it was such a blockbuster success, and so you know that Ratansen met Padmavati on the Singhal Dweep, or present-day Sri Lanka, while he was looking for precious pearls for his first wife, Nagamati. They both fall in love and Padmavati becomes the second queen of Ratansen. After a while, Alauddin hears of the divine beauty of Padmavati and he wants to conquer not only Chittor but also her. That's when all the drama happens. Alauddin sees a glimpse of Padmavati in the mirror, becomes smitten, after which he abducts Ratansen and keeps him in Delhi for a while. Then there's the whole plot of hundreds of Rajput men who fill Padmavati's palkis and go to rescue Ratansen to Delhi. He is rescued, but he gets in a one-on-one fight with Alauddin Khilji in which he is defeated and treacherously killed by Malik Kafur, Alauddin Khilji's slave. Meanwhile, all the women inside the court, including Padmavati, commit jawhar. Even if you didn't watch the film, now you know. There are some gross misrepresentations in the story of the film. For example, yes, Alauddin Khilji was infatuated with Padmavati and he wanted to make her his queen by all means possible, but he wasn't the first to desire her in such a way. In fact, it was Ratansen himself who was the first to desire Padmavati in such a way. He was not in Singhal Dweep looking for precious pearls for Nagamati. He went there looking for Padmavati. Literally, a big chunk of the poem Padmavat, written by Malik Muhammad Jayasi, deals with Ratansen's quest for love and all the hurdles he faces in his adventure. And by the time he has won Padmavati, made her his second queen and returned to Chittor, almost 70% of the story is already over. Then there's the fact of misrepresenting Jalaluddin and Alauddin Khilji, making them complete villains, which they obviously were not. In fact, Jalal was a total softie. But the most important overlooked fact is the Sufi subtext, which flows throughout the entire story. Historian Ramya Srinivasan points out in her essay Padmini, the Ideal Queen, that during the 14th to 16th centuries, a rich body of literature written by Islamic Sufi poets came to be written in vernacular languages in the regions under Islamic control, which led to the emergence of a new genre of literary writings, the medieval Sufi romances, written in Hindavi or medieval Awadhi. Padmavat by Malik Muhammad Jayasi is one of them. In the poem, our hero Ratansen hears of the exceptional beauty of a princess in a distant land and is possessed by desire and sets out on a quest to obtain her. This journey involved him facing a lot of adventures and challenges before he can actually win the princess, the heroine of our story. Now, heroines of exceptional beauty have been mentioned quite famously in very many ancient and medieval texts across cultures. But from a Sufi understanding, this exceptional beauty becomes the ideal beauty that permeates all creation, a divine, godlike beauty. And when the heroine becomes a reflection of eternal beauty, the quest for obtaining her becomes a spiritual one. And the hero renounces not only the world for his quest, but also his ego, anger, and fear. Now, if the story is of a quest for love, then shouldn't it end once love is obtained? Shouldn't it end once Ratansen meets Padmavati and marries her? Well, most of the Sufi romances do end like that. But Jayasi puts a fresh set of hurdles in Ratansen's path as he becomes very proud of the fact that he has won Padmavati, and therefore the entire Khilji episode. These series of crises can actually only be resolved once our hero dies, that is, the death of Ratansen, followed by Sati of his wives. Jawhar of Padmavati here is important because Sufi tradition right from Amir Khusro onwards, admired Sati as the supreme example of love. Padmavat then becomes a tale of love so deep that it produces suffering of love on whoever hears it. Now the last part of this video deals with facts, chronology, very close to the history you read. Alauddin Khilji existed from 1266 to 1316 CE. Malik Muhammad Jayasi wrote the poem Padmavat around 1545 CE. And Padmavat is literally the first time ever in history where we find a mention of Padmavati or the ideal of Padmini women in Singhaldweep. So what do all these facts tell us? 99.9% Padmavati didn't exist. And this poem was a mixture of fiction and facts created by Jayasi to tell a much deeper tale than just narrate the events of history. And therefore, we must reiterate that as with all historical films, Bollywood sells drama, not history. You would know that the story is written in Padmavat, written by Malik Muhammad Jayasi, but you wouldn't know that even he wrote fiction basing his characters on some real-life people, like Khilji. So the most important lesson that you should take away from this video is that not all texts written in history are historical in nature. Many can be mythological or spiritual as well, or as simply fiction based on popular opinions and consciousness. Do you know of any other examples? Write down in the comments below. I personally can think of only Kalidas at this moment. Subscribe for more.